everyone the best of the moment. Welcome to our and your E&C Edumate English channel. It's a YouTube channel mainly concentrating on two subjects, English and commerce. Now I would like to give you some introduction about the learning of English. English is not an Indian language. English is a foreign language, and English is at present considered as the universal language. For example, think about the prominence of learning English. If you want to go other countries or abroad, it's not possible for all the human beings to learn each and every country's language. For example, to go to Japan, a person has to learn Japanese language. In order to go to China, a person has to learn Chinese language. If you want to go to France, you have to learn French language. So it's not possible for almost all the human beings to learn almost all the languages to visit different countries of the world. That's why English is considered the universal or the global language. English is considered as the universal or global language. English, universal language. Universal or global language. Universal or global language, and everyone has to master this language. As far as our nation, India, is concerned, we have a particular branch of English, that is Indian English. The Indian English most probably follow the British English, not American English. So while we learn English language, we must try to imbibe the spirit of language. Now let us see, there are mainly two methods the people in India try to learn English language. Majorly or prominently, there are two methods, especially Indians learn English language. First one is translation method. Or we can call it as bilingual method. Bilingual method. Another one is learn the language in the same language. So, learn English through English. Learn English through English. So both these methods are applicable, and also if you want to learn a language, there are 4 steps involved in L, S, R, W. If you want to learn any language, if you want to learn French, if you want to learn Greek language, if you want to learn Latin language, or if you want to learn your mother tongue also, Malayalam. If we think about our mother tongue, Malayalam, so in any language, there are 4 steps involved to learn or master a language. Let us see what is L. L refers to L SRW. L. The first step for learning a language is listening. Listening the language. Listening to the language. So you just think about your infant days. While you were babes or babies, you will listen to what your parents talk. You will listen to what your family members talk. You listen to what the neighbors talk. So the first step for listening to a language is listen to the language. Listening. Listening is the first step. For example, if you want to learn a French language, you must listen to what are the French words, or what are the accent, or so what are the tones used for speaking. So listening is very important one. For example, think about Latin language. If you want to learn a Latin language, you must listen to what the people talk about Latin language. So what is the vocabulary used for, and what is the structure of the sentence they used for communicating their ideas. For example, I will just give you one example for this one. Mother. It is English word mother. Mata. It is Sanskrit language referring to mother. Then there is another link. Matter means mother in Latin language. So I will give you tus mater et tua mater sunt bone. Tus mater means, no, tus pater. Tus pater. Pater means father. Pita. So these three words from three languages. Pater from Latin, father from English, Pita from Sanskrit. So when you learn the languages in the root level, we can see certain languages have a hidden connection with them, intrinsic connection with them. That is what I am just trying to. Pater, father, Pita. Mother. That is why I am telling. So when according to gender wise, we can say in English language, tus pater et tua mater sunt bone, means your father and mother are very well. So like the languages have intrinsic connection among themselves. If we learn, it will be better. So what I have been telling is that the first step for learning a language is listen to language. So before starting learning, there are many options for learning. You can listen to news channels in English. You can read English newspapers, and you can listen to people who talk English among themselves. By the way, you can improve your listening skill. Think about LSRW are the skills of learning language. Skills of learning any language. So since we learn we go for learning English language, please learners try to understand, to develop the first skill of learning a language is listen to English language. So that is the first step. Try to utilize maximum opportunities for listening to English. That is why many of the teachers will come to the classroom, will try to teach you in English language. They are opening up ways for listening to English language. But in the case of a bilingual method of learning, bilingual method of learning, that means using your mother tongue Malayalam and learning English is bilingual method. That is a translation method. So this method hampers developing the first skill of learning a language, that is listening to language. When you listen to Malayalam, your listening skill of learning the language or learning English is stopped there. That is what I'm just trying to say. Then speaking, second step of learning is LS. Yes, speaking. If you want to learn the language, you must speak at least some broken words that may not be structurally correct. For example, a cup of water. That means the listener can understand you need a cup of water. You need not to say the full sentence, I want a cup of water. Just to say a cup of water, you spoke language. So speaking is very important. That is the second step of learning a language, especially English language. So second skill for learning a language is developing the speaking skill. Try to speak English and just to listen to BBC News, and also try to speak to the people who are speaking English among them. So join with them and try to make available opportunities for speaking English. Gradually, you will be a good speaker of English language. Then the third skill, that is reading skill. That is the third skill for learning a language in a proper method. So there are so many things. You can visit a library, take the journals, magazines, weeklies, and you can just read. First, the slow learners may be feeling difficult for reading. They may not be in a position to read very clearly the words. Doesn't matter. Even if you cannot, work hard. You will be successful. For that, you should have a perseverance. Perseverance means patience. Yes, you just fix a time every day. Visit a library. Take dailies. Dailies means daily newspapers. We can see English newspapers like the Hindu, the Times of India. Okay, all these you can just pick. First, when you read, you won't understand anything. Sometimes you might feel difficulty in reading it in the initial stages. Doesn't matter. Just to go for correlating the words and syllables and try to utter the words. After 1 month, you will feel it very easy for reading English. So listen. The third skill for learning a language is a reading skill. Try to pick up so many English magazines, weeklies, and fortnightlies, and dailies also, newspapers, and try to learn how to read properly English. That is the skill. Then finally, the last skill for learning language systematically is writing. Writing, reading, writing. That is the last and a little bit tough. You can go for writing. For practicing writing skills, you can copy certain paragraphs or certain small poems in your notebook, and you can practice writing. By the time your handwriting will be beautiful. That is why in your olden days, teachers made you write copywriting in 4-line books. So by the time you will be developing the skill of writing in a beautiful way. So the best handwriting reveals a person's character. Handwriting reveals a person's character. So better when you approach English language, keep in your mind there are 4 skills to be developed. There are 4 skills to be developed for learning a language. That is why we just in an abbreviated form or in a short form, LSRW. The extended form is, or the expanded form is listening, speaking, reading and writing. So listen, this is a very important thing. But there's a pathetic condition that students try to learn English only for marks' sake, not for utility's sake. They don't utilize this language, the language they are learning in their day-to-day life, only for mugging up what the teachers have given us notes and just vomit on the answer sheets and collect. After that, if we ask a student, hello, can you please fill up this application form? He will be just bubbling here and there. You can do it very systematically, very accurately, the required needs of the situation. But the learners, please try to understand that learning a language is to utilize the language in our day-to-day life or day-to-day life activities. Try to listen to somebody speaking English and respond to them in English language, or to cater the needs of the people who are speaking in English language to you. And also many purposes like filling up application forms or write a letter in an English language, or you are asked to deliver a speech in an English language for a special occasion. You are not at all in a position to cater the needs of the situation. The problem is that you did not learn the language in a proper method. So another thing that what I am telling is that if you learn English by translation method or in your mother tongue, that is what I am trying to say, Monklish. Monklish means it is a blend. Blend means joining together of 2 words, Malayalam and English. That these elements are taken from 2 words, Malayalam and English, means Monklish. So learn English through Monklish. To some extent it is well and good, but your listening skill is hampered, and if you don't listen, if you don't develop the listening skill, your learning of English language is defective. That is why people, after having completed their graduation and post-graduation, if they compete for IELTS and TOEFL, they get a very low graph of score for listening skill, speaking skill. So they cannot pass, they failed, they cannot go abroad for better opportunities and jobs. That is why. So that is what this time you are in +2. So when you approach almost all the units, whether units may include speeches, memoirs, or anecdotes, poems, plays. Plays means one-act plays, dramas, whatever the literary genres you come across, you learn. try to develop these 4 skills. I must develop the skill of listening to the language. I must develop the skill of speaking in English language. I must develop the skill of reading English language. And finally, I must develop the skill of writing in English language. If you are well mastered with these 4 skills only, your learning of English has its own meaning and it has its own utility in your life. That is one. So what is that one I'm telling? In English, this is a technique in English language. We say portmanteau. 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 Portmanteau means, actually this is taken from French language. It's taken from French language. Port means carry. Port means carry. Manteau means cloak. C-L-O-A-K. Cloak means dress. Wearing dress. External wearing dress. That is cloak. When you just visit the railway stations, there you can see a cabin written as a notice, cloak room. C-L-O-A-K. Cloak room. Cloak means dress changing cabin where you can enter and change. So portmanteau, port means in French language is called carry. Port in French language means carry. Manteau means cloak or dress. So portmanteau is really a blend of several elements of 2 or more than words. Let us see some examples. So here I will give you a better understanding of portmanteau coinage. Portmanteau coinage, very important when you go for higher studies in your colleges and universities. You will come across these kinds of techniques in English language. Portmanteau. Portmanteau. I told you, actually this is an aristocratic, sophisticated word coming from French culture, from France. Port means in French carry. Carry and manteau as cloak in English language. Please don't confuse with the cloak. We know a piece of article or round circled article which shows time is cloak, C-L-O-C-K. C-L-O-C-K. But this cloak, C-L-O-K, is a dress. The best example I gave you, monklish. Monklish is a portmanteau word, originated these elements from Malayalam and English. Like that, please try to understand education and entertainment. Edutainment. Edutainment. Education as well as entertainment, that is blended together or portmanteaued together, portmanteaued, blended together to have another meaning. Like that, think about motel. Motel. Motel means motor hotel. Motor hotel. A hotel which has the facility of parking motor vehicles. That is why we call it as motels. Like that, you can see brunch. Brunch. Brunch is a light refreshment between breakfast and lunch. From breakfast and lunch came another blend of coinage, that is brunch. Breakfast and brunch. Breakfast and brunch. Like that, we can see spork. Spork. Spork is actually a portmanteau, blend of elements from 2 words, spoon and fork. Spork. Like that, we can come across so many words. Portmanteau. This is Actually, this is introduced by Lewis Carroll, novelist. Lewis Carroll, in his novel Through the Looking Glass, Actually, Through the Looking Glass is a novel written by Lewis Carroll. He introduced this kind of technique for coining portmanteau words. Okay, this is only one thing I tell you. And my dear students, the first unit titled Glimpses of Greatness. Think about first year, +1 students of any stream of discipline, maybe computer science, humanities, biology science, commerce, whatever stream you are. Each and every student will have to go through English textbook. The first unit is glimpses of greatness. Glimpses of greatness is the first unit titled, and the first element is Yeats' first speech. Yeats' first speech. Is actually the boyhood experience of Abraham Lincoln when he delivered his first speech. That is a very interesting thing. We will be just starting this interesting experience in the life of Abraham Lincoln, Abe's first speech. So, as a concluding session of this episode, I will wish you all the best and ask all the learners to learn English through English and to develop the fourfold skills of LSRW. Listening to the language, speak the language, read the language, and write the language. And you will be coming up with more and more techniques and learn English and master the English. Wish you all the best. And if you like this channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon. You will get more and more notifications enabling the children to achieve the heights. Wish you all the best. Thank you.